What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Last time we were reviewing the security footage about what looked like Knightley being attacked by the black dog, but in fact, it's the polar bear leaping onto J. Elbert, which doesn't make sense because that should have happened after 9 a.m. because that's after the mud packs were applied by Sawit. So, you can see here in the security footage, the timestamp is off by 3 hours. The footage was actually taken at 9 a.m. So someone was dicking around with the security footage. While I'm at it, I've got some more information for you, sir. You heard that Knightley denied stealing the key, right? It seems nobody would believe the words of a criminal, but Knightley testified I was knocked out too. That may not necessarily be a lie. My, there you all are. Making my warden theory extra viable. Making progress in your investigation, can I be of any help? Actually, Warden Roland, there is something we must report to you. The escaped prisoner, J. Elbert, is most likely still inside the prison. He has disguised himself. Here is the proof. The person visible in the security video is Elbert. So perhaps he's still in this very building. Come to think of it, didn't Mr. Elbert have a bracelet like the other prisoners? The bracelet would have been concealed under the uniform's sleeves. Moreover, the prison's main gate does not have a sensor to detect bracelets. All he would have to do is avoid any doors with sensors inside the prison. That's right. So if he didn't enter the cells or the workrooms, could one of you guys be J. Elbert? Rocky. Here it goes. Busted! Stop! What are you doing? It would seem that Rocky has answered that question for us. No! Rocky, this is all your fault! The little guy loves you so much, it's enviable. Oh, it looks so soft, I want to squeeze. Right then, seize him at once. Wait, there's something we must hear from this prisoner. It's necessary if we are to find the truth. I'd like permission to interrogate him. Understood. What do you want out of me? Albert's escape route is linked to Knightley's cell. So it's highly likely he knows something about the crime. I'd like to ask you about the day the body was found. Those dead eyes. So it was you guys. You were the ones who found my secret tunnel. It took me ages to dig that. The day the body was found was the day I planned to escape. I was in disguise. Then Rocky followed after me. But he was all covered in mud. I panicked and returned to my cell. Damn, if only you guys hadn't shown up. If only Knightley hadn't died. You say you dug the tunnel. What did you use to dig it? Utensils, you can see it in the tunnel. Oh, that. Just hammers and spoons. Stuff like that. I bought them from the supplier, but it was all for nothing. Yeah, no need to lose your temper. There's always next time. On the day of the incident, it's possible that Elbert met Knightley while he was alive. I'll have to listen to his testimony carefully. Oh, we found it all right. Shut up! What's with that hold it, punk? You say you dug. What's it to you? You know how long it took me to dig that? I had to beg the supplier for those tools. Day after day I slaved away. Give me back my hard work, you son of a... I can't get a word in edgewise. Can't just go around discovering people's holes. That's what she said. Woo! It took me ages to dig that. Hold it. So you dug that hole alone? You're damn right I did. Could a tunnel like that really be dug by one person? Wow, such a wasted effort. Yeah, I mean, just watch Shawshank. A kid like you wouldn't understand. Never rely on others. Never let others see you. Those are the rules we live by in here. Well, as a great thief, I kinda see where you're coming from. Okay, don't agree with him. Ah, no, I was just joking. Well, I wasn't. Damn, why did it come to this? The day the body was found was the day I had planned to escape. I was in disguise. Did you obtain the guard's uniform from the supplier too? Yeah, that's right. Seems he got it by threatening a guard. That guy went and stole it from someone's locker. So when you went through the tunnel, you were already dressed like a guard. No, to ensure that the clothes wouldn't get stained with mud, I carried them with me. Once I got out of the hole and changed clothes, getting out the cell doors was simple. And that's when Rocky ran up and jumped on me. That must be the moment the security camera captured. I see. Could you add that to your testimony? Once I got out of the hole and changed clothes, getting out the cell doors was simple. Yeah. Compared to going through the tunnel, it was very simple. You inhabit a prison, yet you seem to know the layout of the detention center quite well. What's so wrong about that? Sure, I've been to the detention center too. In that case, he should have known about it from the start. When Knightley was in his cell, the door would have been locked, which means there was one piece of evidence Albert needed to escape. He needed the keys, so he has the keys. Yes. Where is it? Oh, no.
Objection!
You say it was simple getting through the cell door. Yeah, that's right. You got a problem? Huh? Even though you managed to arrive at Knightley's cell, opening the door wasn't so simple. How did you intend to unlock the cell door? Jailbird, you had the key to Knightley's cell. I ain't got nothing like that. That's it, it was open. It was already unlocked when I got there.
Objection!
Indeed, the cell was vacant after Knightley's death, which is why, at the time we conducted our investigation, it was unlocked. Your successful escape attempt occurred after Knightley's death, so the door would have been open. But you had tried to escape once before then. The plan was foiled thanks to Rocky. The video shows it. Yes, that was during the animal show before Knightley's death was known. And the cell door was locked because no one knew he was dead. Without the key to Knightley's cell, your escape would have been impossible. That means it can't be. It's exactly what you think. In the case of the stolen key, the culprit is J. Elbert. You were the one who attacked the guard, weren't you? The guard and Knightley too, in order to steal the key. It wasn't me. I don't know any Knightley. After stealing the key, you returned to your cell as a precautionary measure. Then you waited for a time when the prison would be mostly vacant. That was just before Knightley's death became known. In other words, during the animal show. But in the end, the plan was foiled thanks to Rocky. Don't screw with me. If you don't have evidence, I'll still win by decision. Besides, it was that Knightley guy who attacked the guard, right?
Objection!
I think not. Regarding the theft of the keys, Knightley was the victim. This proves Knightley was the victim who was attacked in his cell. What do you want from me here? Oh, the keys, probably? Wait. Wouldn't it be the keys because he didn't have it on him?
Take that!
Does this really prove it? Oh, what? Then what? Oh, I don't... Okay, I get it. Stop. Yes, it proves nothing, I get it, okay. Even though I feel like it does kind of prove it, but okay, if you say so. What happened between those two? Well, he was attacked, but we also know that someone was in there, and not just an animal, because of the wiping. But I thought this was from the murder. I don't understand. I don't really understand. In Knightley's cell, there were traces of his blood, which had been wiped away. I believe this is more than enough proof Knightley was attacked in his cell. You attacked those two people and stole the key, didn't you? Damn! I never thought you'd find the bloodstain I wiped away with the newspaper. Why would you go through all the trouble of wiping the bloodstain? On the hands of Knightley and the guard, there were obvious signs of a scuffle, you know? If the bloodstains were uncovered, they'd find out there was another attacker. And if anyone looked around the bed, the tunnel I dug would be discovered. So you were trying to buy more time for your escape attempt. But I'm afraid to say your plan still ended in failure. Now then, hand over the keys to Knightley's cell. Oh damn, he's taking a beating. That was awesome. No way! How could an amateur like you knock me out? Here, I got the keys right here. Hold it! If you have that key, then that means... That's right, Judge Courtney. You reasoned that Knightley stole the key and used it to leave his cell. From there, he entered Mr. Keyes' cage and was moved to the workroom. But the very foundation of that hypothesis has collapsed. Oh! I see. In that case, there was only one person who could have moved Knightley. The criminal must have been someone who knew about the secret tunnel. Hey, are you suggesting? J. Albert, you're under arrest, pal. Wait, I didn't do nothing. Sure, I knocked out those two guys, then I stole the keys. And after that, I waited for the perfect time to enter that guy's cell. But the cell was empty then. There was no dead body either. And also, how could I have gotten into the workroom? I couldn't even leave my own cell, right? It's true. You only had the key to Knightley's cell. But there's also Doggin's dog. What? It'd be possible for the dog to carry the body from the cell to the workroom. I see. So you're saying there was an accomplice. The crime would have been possible if Albert and Doggin were working together. It's perfectly plausible. Somehow Albert managed to carry Knightley's body to his own cell. And then the dog must have carried it to the workroom. Yes, because all the animals can move freely in the prison. But that's not the case for the path between the detention center and the prison. The only one who could use that route was you, J. Albert. What if there was another route that you didn't know about? There couldn't have been. The tunnel is a straight path, is it not? Yeah, seems like it. I didn't have enough time to dig any more than I did. I only dug halfway up the corridor. You mean to say that you didn't dig the entire tunnel? When I got to that cell, the tunnel was already there. There was a tunnel linking my cell to the well. Looking down the well from the courtyard, there's no mistaking it. They've always been connected. I just continued the tunnel with my digging. What was that hole doing there in the first place? Oh my god, this goes back to my original theory many videos ago that the route was through the warden's office, to the window, to the courtyard. Or maybe the animals dug it. Maybe they wanted to drink from the well. That's highly doubtful. There's no water in that well anymore. It's all dried up. Wait a minute. That's it. For some reason, that well gave off a nice scent. A nice scent. I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet, like candy. Well, no one's noticed any perfume yet. This scent, I believe we've come across it before. Yeah, on the victim's body. We know the scent from the body. Yep, has sweet scent. Knightley's body was giving off a sweet candy-like scent. We used a police dog to track that scent. And that led us to discover the tunnel. By any chance, could this be the same scent as the well? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I know what you're trying to say. That the scent proves the body was carried down through the tunnel. Exactly. And, J. Elbird, you are the only one who could have used the tunnel. Thank you, Mr. Elbird. I am very grateful to you. At last the truth comes to light. Mr. Elbird, wouldn't it be wise to confess now? To being an accomplice, I mean. Don't tell me even you suspect me too. Judge Courtney, it seems you and I have come to the same conclusion. Not at all. Our thoughts on this matter are still quite different. Mr. Elbird was certainly an accomplice, but an accomplice to Horace Knightley.
Hold it!
What do you mean? Mr. Elbird did not move the body. He simply lent the victim his keys. What? It would seem Mr. Elbird did indeed strike Mr. Knightley on the head. But Mr. Knightley was not knocked out. The two must have made a little negotiation. For Mr. Knightley's escape plan to work, he would have needed the keys to his cell. So, Mr. Elbird stole them from the guard. On the other hand, for Mr. Elbird to escape, he needed to get to Mr. Knightley's cell. But if Mr. Knightley had seen him and yelled, the plan would have gone down the drain. And so, they negotiated. I didn't negotiate nothing! Oh, you still intend to deny it? I see. So in other words, we're back where we started. Mr. Elbird opened the cell door, and Mr. Knightley entered Mr. Keyes' cage. And then he was moved into the prison. Of course! And then he was killed in the prison workroom.
Objection!
Weren't you listening? The scent on the body shows it must have been moved through the tunnel. Please wait until someone is finished before speaking. I do not claim that he wasn't moved through the tunnel. What? You don't? The scent shows that the body was moved through the tunnel. But that doesn't mean it came from the detention center. What do you mean? That sure sounds like a contradiction to me. Isn't there one more possibility? The well in the courtyard. It's possible the body was dropped down from there. The courtyard? The well in the courtyard. Mr. Keyes carried the cage not to the workroom, but to the courtyard. Mr. Knightley was killed in the courtyard, and his body was dropped down the well. And then, the body at the bottom of the well was moved by Mr. Doggin's dog. Now, there's one thing I'd like you all to remember. Before the body was discovered, what was happening in the courtyard? The animal show? The animal show, right? Regina and Simon were there. Wait, Simon? I see you understand. Who then dropped the body down the well? She's a tough opponent. Her flexible way of thinking enables her to adapt and come up with her own deductions. Mr. Knightley was not carried to the workroom, but to the courtyard. And Mr. Keyes was off stage for 15 minutes. This was when he dropped Mr. Knightley down the well. It's as simple as that.
Objection!
Judge Courtney, your reasoning is sound, I'll admit that. But let's say the body was dropped down the well. That didn't have to be done during the show. Could have been happened at a different time. Unfortunately for you, Prosecutor Edgeworth, that is not possible. When the show started, Mr. Elbert was in the tunnel, on his way to the cell block. Mr. Elbert, at that time, did you happen to see a body in the tunnel? Nope, nothing like that. So if the body had been dropped before the show, Mr. Elbert would have seen it. But he has stated he did not see a body. So it is impossible to think the body was dropped before the show. And after the show, the body was discovered in the workroom. In other words, the body being dropped down the well and then moved to the workroom could only have been done during the show. And the only one who could have done it is Simon Keyes. Mr. E, what should we do? If the body was moved through the well, that does put Mr. Keyes at a major disadvantage. But the notion that the body was moved through the well is only a hypothesis. That doesn't mean there is evidence. I am obligated to recognize that fact. Will you allow me to investigate the courtyard once more? I give my approval in the name of the goddess of law. Re-investigating the courtyard. I fear this may be our final chance. What? Fire! Could be another prison break, pal. Should we evacuate? No! It stopped. I knew I should have just let it sit there and keep playing the music. Everyone, please remain calm. This is just the signal for the evening meal. It's a little loud, so I can understand why you'd be surprised. Sure scared me. I'm terribly sorry. And with that, everyone, please return to your posts. J. Elbert, it's also time for you to return to your room. I got it. Let's go, Rocky. Warden Roland, we will be proceeding to the courtyard for another investigation. Isn't it time for you to go home as well, Mr. Edgeworth? It looks like we're out of time. Why don't you continue this another time? But the investigation. Today's been a big day, right? With the escaped prisoner and all. So I'm afraid I can't let outsiders like you loiter around any longer. This is my decision as the warden of this prison. Looks like it can't be helped. The warden's word can be called the law of the prison. Prosecutor Edgeworth, this means we will have to carry out our investigation another day. Until then, you may hold on to your prosecutor's badge. And with that, I leave you. Alright, Warden. Gonna go hide some evidence, huh? That what you're gonna do, Warden? Now I think it's time you all left. Well, it looks like we'll have to continue the investigation tomorrow. And with that, let's end this video here, so that way we can get this nice little recap that he's doing for the next episode. So stay tuned for the next one, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!